Hello everyone, welcome to Session 0 for Good Chaotic. My name is Dan Peck and I will be your GM for this brand new actual play podcast. Real quick, we're going to go around the table and introduce our players, starting with the person to my left.
Hello, I'm Ben. My pronouns are they, them. I am, as you can probably tell, English, despite my best efforts. And should I introduce my character as well?
Just get a quick, your character name, and we'll come back to.
I will be playing as a pilot named Trip Odometer.
Fantastic. Sitting next to Ben is the illustrious
Michael. Wait, I'm not illustrious. No, but I am Michael Nixon, a non-illustrious person, and I'll be playing the slightly illustrious Killsphere. They're back and they're pissed.
Oh, can we say fuck on this show?
Oh yeah.
Okay, fuck.
Fuck.
We did it.
Now, just because I want to clarify, because Ben is English, when you say that Killsphere is pissed, are they angry or are they just shit-faced drunk?
I'm just not surprised you've already broken the introduction order.
Sorry, yeah.
Well, you might as well go ahead and introduce yourself.
No, it's fine. We can cut that out.
No, we're
sorry.
not. No, please.
No, I'm kidding. Come on.
Keep going.
You gotta keep going.
Hey, everybody. I'm Riley Silverman, pronounced she, her, and I am playing a character named Chase Variant.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Michael Dixon, he, him, character, they, them. Thank you for reminding me.
And last and certainly not least,
I'm in the middle of my groove right now, but if you can't tell, we're having a great time. My name is Châu Lê. I'll be playing the amazing BB, who is Killsphere's best mechanic friend, Bazooka Beaver.
and that rounds out our team. The 4 players are going to be members of a team called Chaos. We'll get into what that means in a little bit.
It means we're part of a squad. We're playing a tabletop role-playing game. That's what that means.
Yes.
Cool.
For those who may not know what an actual play is or Session 0, we are going to be telling a science fiction story. Imagine a billion-dollar Hollywood feature film that you can listen to in your car, and we will be using a game system to tell us what we can and cannot do successfully. We will be using the game system Scum and Villainy, written by Strash Achimowicz and John LeBeau Little, courtesy of Evil Hat Productions. So a big thank you to Evil Hat. They were very kind and sent us copies of the book. And for Roll20, although we will be playing in person, but thank you for that. So let's jump into it. In this Session 0, we're going to be building the character sheets, meaning all the technical behind-the-scenes sort of things, how each of the players will operate. I will say this episode will be entirely optional to listen to, so if you don't feel like getting into the nitty-gritty, you will be able to pop in episode 1, no problem. But this is a glimpse behind the curtain to see how the characters are going to be designed and the sorts of characters that we're all going to be playing.
But we will boot you from our favorites list if you don't listen to this.
Yeah, if you don't listen to this, you are out of my MySpace top 8. I'm just putting that out there right now.
Ooh.
You are not invited to my birthday party.
Well, I'm having not one but 2 clowns.
Right. Well, no, then they wouldn't want to come, so that's probably good. I understand. I think that sometimes Session 0 episodes can be not fun for certain people to listen to, so I understand if you can't. Yeah.
Also, there are 2 clowns inside of you, and they're both Ben.
I've got the red hair.
All right, so we're just going to go down this character creation list. First things first, everyone has already chosen their playbook. The playbook in this is the equivalent of a class in Dungeons & Dragons or any sorts of game like that. Ben, your character's class is the pilot, correct?
Yes, I am a pilot.
Why
Just like in real life.
Yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about Trip?
Why don't you just say the things you know about your character?
Trip Odometer is a pilot.
That's it.
Okay, moving on.
Wow.
So you want to give a little more?
What does that mean? It means they fly the ship. Yes,
Trip flies the ship. Trip is a pilot.
What's funny is I know your character's name is Trip Odometer, but
Yeah.
for some reason my brain always rewrites your character's name to be Jet Flyship.
Oh, I'm writing that one down.
Yeah, we're gonna need that.
Trip Odometer is, I would describe Trip physically as what if Jason Statham had been painted lilac for a Marvel movie. just leather jacket, big boots, shaved head, stubbly chin, with a checkered past and a secret that he may be running from or towards. You will never find out unless you listen to the show, in which case maybe eventually at some point you'll find out. Who knows? And furthermore, who cares?
Fantastic. Let's jump over to Riley. Riley, your character Chase. What's her playbook?
I am using the Scoundrel playbook, which I'm very excited about. Sorry, I was looking up the art of her that I made on Hero Forge, and then you went to me next. I thought I was going to go to Michael next because I got in trouble for skipping the line order earlier, so I was trying to be nice this time around, and it burned me again. So this is what happens when you try to be good. So yeah, her name is Chase Variance, and she is using the Scoundrel playbook. And the description that I put for her look is Cat Girl Dr. Aphra. So she's your typical she's like your space scoundrel type. So she's someone who is often wearing like a vest or some sort of like cargo situation. And yeah, she's mostly humanoid, but she does have cat ears that are kind of like a tealish, bluish fur. And she does have a tail. I think we did decide she has a tail. Let me double check on that. But I believe she does have a tail. Yes, because Michael's been working on fun, cool work for us. So action figures for her. So yes, I'm looking at her now. She has tail. So she's someone who, looking at the picture now, she has a cool crop top and she wears like a long jacket over it, and the jacket has lots of pockets. And she's someone who probably always has a knife of some sort on her. That's kind of the vibe. So yeah, I'm looking at a picture of a girl with a cool bob haircut. It's been a month since I designed this character, so sorry for the scrambling here. I did not know that was going to be next. She's a cool cat. No, she's got like kind of a bobbish type hair with like ears coming out of that. A pair of cool like spacey goggles and a long like trench coat vibe, but like, space trench coat, and crop top and cool boots and fur, and is dope.
Before we move on to the next players, one of the free items which all of the players will be receiving is something called adaptive clothing. Because this is a very fashion-forward group, I knew that the players would most likely want to have an outfit for any and all occasions. So in this level of technology from where they are all from, adaptive clothing can be changed on the fly to whatever you need it to be, want it to be. It is also self-cleaning in that it cleans itself and it cleans yourself.
Excuse me, this beaver is all natural.
But you have it on the out of your mech suit, so if you wanted a formal look for your mech, however you like it. It also does act as an EV and spacesuit, also, so you can breathe in the vacuum of space.
We got to go back. Just the beaver is fully in the beaver buff the whole time?
Yeah.
I got to rework that action figure.
Where do we...
And on that,
those tiny clothes are going to get in the way.
I will admit, I was picturing a beaver in an adorable little space jumpsuit.
Well, I mean, that could be... BB might be able to convince into that.
Okay.
She's a little rough and tumble.
Like for photos and stuff?
Yeah, maybe. Killsphere might need to talk a little. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, anywhere where, it's not okay to be naked and around a food.
And also you are
That's most places.
You're going to be the mechanic of the
That's
group,
right. That's
so
right. I chose.
You have mechanics overalls or things like that.
Yeah, once in a while you don't want loose parts hanging out when there's like gears and stuff.
Well, I'm just saying that like all natural, self-cleaning. I can take care of myself.
Okay.
I don't have to worry about any of this pushing buttons to clean things.
Would you like to tell us a little bit more about
Right. I should tell more about... Well, I've taken the mechanic playbook and for the beautiful and adorable little bazooka beaver. She is a mid-sized North American beaver.
Mid-size, I think it's the specificity of it's kind of an average. It's not too big, not too small. It's
She's not a compact. She's not a luxury beaver.
Yeah.
The sedan.
Yeah. I will, the Honda Odyssey of beavers.
He's a hatchback.
Yeah, absolutely. With the automatic doors, you just press the button. Yeah. Okay. Good to know that we're all on the same page about this beaver. She's from the South, and she
Of Earth.
Of Earth. That's right. There are many galaxies here. I should clarify
Lots
that.
of planets have a south.
That's very true. Of Earth, which has been taken over by animals. That's what I'm going to say right now. And yeah, she loves this mech of hers, but you know, depending on the job, maybe it's mech, maybe it's not. And the mech has different arm attachments, but it typically has like a claw pincer in one hand, and then the other hand has a drill, like a large drill bit. But yes, they are interchangeable. And then the helmet part that she walks, or the cockpit where she sits in, kind of slides back like the Buzz Lightyear helmet, the way it's like shoo, shoo, yeah, and it's like cylindrical like that. So
kind of like
I drew it
Penny
right
Parker
here.
in the
It is essentially Penny
love
Parker.
it. I
It's
love
like
it.
round.
Yeah.
And it's super beat up. It's got lights on the bottom, so there's a bunch of gaff tape and stuff and holes
Oh my
on
God,
the
I
mech
love it.
that and stickers. Killsphere might have blasted it a few times. There might be Killsphere specific blasts on there.
Killsphere, why would you do that?
The gaff tape reminds me of like in Silo when they have to use the tape to like wrap around the suits to leave the silo. Yeah.
Essentially, yeah. This mech is old. I'm pretty sure she found just random things and has like placed them together.
Oh, I love it. I love it so
based
much.
off of whatever she likes. It's not about function. It's more about aesthetics.
Nice.
Beaver aesthetics.
Vibes.
And like,
It works. It's like she's made a dam, but instead of being a dam, it's
a
next-
mech.
Yeah, like she's found pieces and put together for a
ooh,
fight.
the
Exactly.
dam is a good name for the mech.
Oh my god, the dam!
It could be like the defense activated matrix.
I love it. Yes. Well, because the thing is, I also saw this suit like as kind of like a war machine on top. Like that's like a reserved button. She doesn't push that button often, but it's
but
got
the
it.
disco button she pushes.
The disco
quite
buttons
often.
all the time.
It's my birthday.
Party cannons.
Disco activated mech.
Yeah.
Boom.
Oh,
I like
that's
that.
good. Yeah, Michael, please. And Killsphere.
Yeah, Killsphere is the muscle, which is probably why there are so many dents in Baby's suit. Killsphere believes in practice. It's very important. And also, Killsphere believes in testing their teammates constantly, just to be sure they're up to Killsphere's level.
Surprise.
I love it.
I've attacked.
Especially when you run a radio station together.
Sneak attack. It's usually the beginning of an interesting morning for someone on the team.
Fantastic. All right, so moving through character creation, the next step is to choose a starting ability. If anyone would like to talk about that, if not, we can move right on. But each playbook gets one starting ability. If there's anything
I'm
super
going with
cool.
what I got. It's great.
Yeah,
Mine's super cool.
I have Ace Pilot. I have Potency on all speed-related rolls. When you roll to resist the consequences of piloting, gain 1d6. Now, I don't know what any of that means,
We shall.
but it sounds great.
Well, it's a good thing the folks at Evil Hat sent us copies of the book.
They did send us copies of it.
Thank you.
I love you.
Okay, so what do we do now?
I
Well,
have
we're saying what our special abilities are.
Or starting with-
I have
Yeah.
the amazing ability of Construct Whisperer, which I love for BB. It means that machines speak to you when you study them.
Nice. That'll be fun for Dan to roll.
The first time you roll a critical while fixing or building a particular machine, you may add a simple modification to it, which is funny because that kind of goes into her weird vice thing. She loves shinies.
It's amazing.
The food, right?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
The drug.
language? Does people
Wait.
just enjoy hearing Mandarin?
Wait,
That's
no,
fine.
I think she said shiny.
I said shiny.
Oh, this is what these. I thought
Yeah.
I heard Chinese.
Because I kind of heard it too, and then like my head clarified, and then yours didn't. They go, I don't think that's what she said.
I'm just gonna take these.
Yeah.
off.
I like the idea that you're like, she just loves General So's. And
Yeah, she just really loves
loves
Mandarin
good
culture.
crab rangoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She really is about the country of China,
Yeah.
where all the pandas are now.
Yeah.
She just wants to be a panda.
Yeah.
She's a beaver, but wants to be a panda.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
So wait, the
I'm
beaver
like-
whose persona is a panda.
Beautiful.
Alright, okay, I'm all about it. That's so
Yeah.
good.
Makes
All right.
sense to me.
That doesn't have to be canon, but I really hope it is.
So good. My starting ability is as a scoundrel is serendipitous, which means your crew starts. Both of my abilities are involving gambits, which are obviously X-Men that charge things. But yeah, yeah. Oh. But hey, I will say in the comics, just got married to Rogue, so very sweet.
Hey.
Mazel
All
tov.
right. Mazel tov, yeah.
L'chaim.
I'm sure that will end happily and not have any more drama in the future.
Yeah, I was just going to ask
So-
before or after their entire home island was
Yeah,
detonated
I
for
think-
the 4th time.
For real. All right. So yeah. Cool. So, but gambits in this game, from what I understand, from what Dan has told me, are kind of like story points in other systems, or like they're basically like things you can use to like influence a roll or like add to.
Yeah, it's a collective pool that if you use a gambit, you can add an additional die to your roll.
Okay. So it's like I think like other games like make it like as like a luck roll, or like in D&D be an inspiration, that kind of thing. So both of my abilities I have right now involve gambits. So I have serendipitous, which means that whenever our pool of gambits resets, our whole crew gets +1 because I'm here. That's like the built-in scoundrel ability. And then my special ability I chose never tell me the odds, which means that whenever I roll a desperate roll, I generate a gambit. So, and then even if I spend a gambit, I still generate one. So that's like kind of a nice, like, there's a lot of gambits happening.
Yeah, it's an incentive for you to take those more risky rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
it's great.
and yeah, so that'll be fun.
And I went for the starting ability of Unstoppable, which is the basic one. I can push myself to do one of the following. Perform a feat of physical force that verges on the superhuman, including saying all those F sounds just there. Or engage a small gang on equal footing in close combat. Which sounds very fun. And then
It's really fitting to a scene that you've had in the past, too, where you did kind of that. So
Exactly. And then similarly, I'm going to go with the special ability of Scary, which is you have an air of menace and danger obvious to even the most unobservant. You gain potency when trying to intimidate someone. If done immediately after a show of force, also take +1d.
Let me ask you a question, Michael.
Uh-oh.
I've never fully known how big Killsphere is when you describe, because in my head I'm like, I've never understood exactly the radius that we're talking about for this, because in
That's
my head I've
true,
kind of always
yeah.
been picturing the little interrogation droids from Star Wars,
Oh.
but now I'm like,
Large.
yeah, I guess that's true, but I'm thinking, yeah, so like, or is it like that size, or more of a size of like the speaking of other Star Wars things, the like Imperial probe droids,
So I was looking this up.
or a basketball.
Basketball too large. I'm thinking, I was trying to find like a universal, not just the U.S. ball size that would work. So I went with the croquet ball.
Oh,
That's
okay.
that's a lot smaller than I
That's a
thought.
lot
Little guy.
smaller.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're just like a little
Yeah.
sort of.
There's a lot of kill packed into
I think
a
I should
sphere.
have clued into that when you said that's quite large, talking about the interrogation droids. I'm like, I don't think it is, but now that you're saying now I'm like, okay, you're right.
'Cause
Comparatively,
I've definitely been picturing like soccer ball, volleyball kind of
Yeah.
size, but you're going smaller than
No, Killsphere's Lil.
okay.
Okay.
He's a
Yeah.
little guy. They're a
They're
little guy.
smaller
I
than
originally
BB.
described them.
They're a little
as-
GUI.
Magic 8 Ball. Originally.
Magic 8 Ball.
Originally, I
That's
described them
universal,
as Magic 8 Ball sized, right?
Yeah.
So I was trying to figure out something similar but less weirdly specific.
Yeah.
So croquet ball felt like, yeah,
I like that.
something that, somebody in India would go.
Like
Oh, I
an
understand
Yeah.
what that means.
What's
Somebody in
the
Australia would go,
what's
"Oh,
the
I get it."
proto croquet that's on Bridgerton? It's like it's not high lie, but it's something like that.
Oh,
like
Lord, it's not cricket or
no, it has
well,
like a
cricket would be
it
awesome.
has
Smack Ball 5000.
it's like Joe, you've been watching Bridgerton. What do they call
Bridger
it?
Ball. Is it called Bridger Ball?
I only tuned
Okay.
in for this,
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
and then promptly forgot it.
I think it plays a major part in the second season. Anyway,
Maybe.
Oh, I never watched season
somebody
2.
right now is screaming.
They are
at-
screaming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like it's not hoi polloi, but it's something like that. Like it's a game. It has like a rhymey scheme. Anyway,
Yeah. Bocce?
I'm looking
Definitely not bocce.
Continue talk amongst yourselves.
I didn't
doing
mention.
this now.
I did not mention my special ability,
Oh,
which
sorry.
I thought we were just talking about our starting abilities, and then everyone else kind of went off on one. So fine, see if I care. I chose for my special ability. They usually say if you're not sure, pick the first one. I did not do that. I picked the third one, which is exceed specs. While on board a ship, you may damage a ship system you have access to in order to gain 1d or 1 effect to a roll. I thought that, being a pilot, I thought that was very effective and
That's
could be.
nice.
Yeah.
Plus, I get to fuck shit up, which if I get to
Always
break
good.
one thing that has a long-term effect for an immediate short-term gain, that is how I live my life.
Yeah,
So
that
Yeah.
one sounds good.
yeah,
The game, by the way, is called Pall Mall.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, which my
Okay, it
grandma,
all
my
makes
great
sense.
grandma smoked, and her whole house smelled terrible because of it. Yeah.
yay!
She should have switched to croquet cigarettes. They smell like
All right,
potato
John Hamm.
balls.
All right.
Well done, Mima.
And Joe, why don't you tell us about your abilities, please?
My special ability I already talked about, which is I get to talk to mechs, which is awesome.
You're right. I'm
Starting
sorry.
But
yeah.
then my starting one is Tinker. So when I work on a clock with Rig or Hack, or when I study a schematic, I get to fill a +1 segment.
Fantastic. Yeah, the segments are used for clocks. In this game, clocks represent not only your progress towards things that you're working towards, but also a timer for dangers. So, if there's a pursuit, a clock will fill in depending on how close they get to you. Okay, moving along, the next 2 steps are choose a heritage and choose a background. We're just going to skip over that right now just because that will come into play as we are more narrative, unless anyone would like to specifically bring up anything at the moment.
I think it'll be hard for me to talk about mine without getting into game first, because I think like your setting is not. We should say your setting is not the setting that's a typical setting for
Correct.
common villainy, so that might affect things a little bit.
Correct. And honestly, this would be a great time to talk about the setting a little bit before we move on. So let's talk about where you are all from.
Ohio.
England.
Sorry, I thought you meant okay.
So yes, Chaos, their base of operations is at the end of the universe. Now, what exactly does the end of the universe mean? Well, eventually, all of the stars in the night sky will burn out, and there will be no more light left in the universe. Before that could happen, though, the last star in existence was decided to be saved. A group of beyond intelligent folks came together, and they built a machine that would slow down the relative speed of the decay of the last star. And the machine they built was a space station called the Lighthouse. And the word was put out to all points in the universe saying, if you have nowhere else to go, look to the last light in the sky, come to the Lighthouse. And the Lighthouse has been in operation for over 100,000 years. And in that time, a flotilla of thousands of ships from every corner of space and time have come there to not be alone for the end and to work together for the collective project of life continuing in the universe. And the Chaos team, well, sometimes things need to be done, maybe not safe, maybe not ethical, but sometimes things have to be done in order to assure the survival of the remaining life in the universe. And so Chaos will proceed back in time and get the job done no matter what. And that is the premise of Good Chaotic. It's that our team, it is space leverage, basically. They're going to be
Leverage.
They're going to have to take part in some of the craziest missions I could have ever come up with in my life, and I am so excited for not only these 4 characters, but for my very wonderful 4 friends to be a part of these adventures.
Crazy missions like going to Costco on a Saturday.
Oh, no, nothing absurd like that.
Okay.
Okay, great. So let's get back to character creation. The next step is to assign action dots. So one of the reasons I like this system a lot is because there's very little math. Everyone's die rolls are going to be based on how many points they have in a specific action. Now, I think most of you have already filled in most of your action point.
Mm-hmm.
Just real quick, what is it that each of you is best at? Just so the players, the listeners can get an idea what they should expect from your players.
My character came out of the box with 2 points in Helm. So, but I have 1 point in Rig on the character sheet, and then I added 1 each for Doctor, Scramble, Scrap, and Command. Scrap I don't anticipate having to use, because my character is a pacifist, but has a history of...
They'll pass a fist into somebody's face if they talk.
Well, that's too... I'm just going to stop talking. That was phenomenal.
Yeah, can't go further than that.
That was exceptional.
Ring a ding ding.
Michael, your turn.
Yep, that was it. Gotta pass
Yikes.
on.
Yeah, I was still picking stuff. Holy hell. So far,
I'm sorry, Ben.
That's good. It's
Good
perfectly.
Lord, how do you beat that?
Yeah,
Come
you
on.
can't
Well,
really.
you pass a fist into.
So thank
yeah.
you. I'm now holding the talking fist. Thank you. Wait, no, hold on. I start with 2 in scrap and 1 in command.
Cool.
So I'm figuring out with my other 4. So far, I've put 1 in hack and 1 in sway.
So you're still
Nice.
thinking about what your others should be, right?
Yeah, I'm just looking at my other 2.
Yeah, because when I did mine, I tried to think about like where my character has been and where they're going, and because my character, like I said, they do have a violent past. I thought, even though I'm trying to play a character who is a pacifist, I still felt it makes sense to put a point in scrap because
Absolutely.
They have
because-
experience with it.
yeah, Trip has that experience. And Trip's, I didn't mention this earlier. Trip's pronouns, unlike mine, are he, him. So I'll be referring to him accordingly. But yeah, like that's I guess what is Killsphere's vibe?
So I put 1 in sway because they're, it's not so much charm, logic, disguise, but change attitudes or behavior with manipulation or seduction. Maybe not sway.
Well, that's
Maybe
why I
that's
put
not.
1 in command for intimidation. And I feel like your
Maybe
character,
it's command.
you could put it because you put 1 in command so far.
I already have 1 in
So you could drop another 1 in command. 'cause
Yeah,
you can
so
have
you can
up to
get
2 to
two.
begin with. Yeah.
I'm gonna do that. I
And
put
if you have
1
no points in something, you can still roll for it, but you have to roll 2 dice and take the worse of the 2 results.
I'm just gonna put 1 dot
There's
in
gonna be
everything.
I was like,
Hold on.
BB's in trouble.
I just did 1 in hack because I feel like
Because you love Gene
Killsphere's-
Smart?
Yeah, it's useful. It's computer systems, digital locks, reprogram robots or drones, jam surveillance and communications. That's good stuff. And then I did 1 in helm because Dan had mentioned we'd each get like little fighters of our own. So I wanted to be able to have that one's helm a vehicle, fire ship weaponry, plot a jump or in-system course, or escape a chasing ship.
Do you have anything in a tune right now?
I should put 1 in.
Because I know that you interfaced with some when we did Total Chaos back in the day. You had like USB'd into some things.
Still my
It's like such a great-
Yeah, I love that. Yeah,
USB in and out gag.
Every time it happened, every time I do it in real life, I always think about Killsphere.
Yeah.
We'll probably just stick with hack for that if you don't want it to be, because the tune is more of like the mystical sort of element
Oh,
of
yeah.
things.
We'll put 2.
But that's totally your call, though.
This is tricky.
How many points have you used so far? 3?
Well, I've erased a bunch.
While you're figuring that out, why don't we speak with someone
I
else?
used 3.
You're good. While Michael's thinking, so BB started with 2 in rig and 1 in study, and then I added 2 into attune then for her, 1 into hack and 1 into home, because she's kind of a wanderer and has been a little bit everywhere. So she's got these abilities, but don't ask her to fight. She's got tiny beaver hands.
But you got a mech.
Doesn't mean she knows how to fight in the mech.
It's true.
The mech is very brittle. And if you-
Yeah, did
the
we
mech's-
not say
the
it's
mech
got
is made
gaff tape?
of connects and
You can put connects back together.
It's a bionicle.
Aw.
It's literally a bionicle.
Oh, now you're speaking my language. Wow. I'm just flashing back to my giant container of connects I had back in my
Yeah.
dad's house. Oh my
Oh, you're making a beaver
God.
mech.
It's happening. Yeah, wow. I don't
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Gary Beavermech, your attorney at law.
But my father, Reginald Beaver, founded this.
he had one dream in mind, that beavers could one day control our entire society, and I decided to help him with it.
Amazing.
I started with 2 points in sway, and I know we talked about it a little bit, but sway is basically how you can like charm someone, or like it's a lot of like that kind of thing. It's change attitude behavior with manipulation or seduction, as Michael said. My character is kind of this scoundrelly type, so she is a little bit schmoozy, and so I put that in there for her. And then the other one that I got 1 point in was skulk, and that is kind of like your sneakiness. It's moving about unseen, picking pockets, employing
I'll
subtle
dig it.
misdirection or sleight of hand. And then, yeah, there's a similar type of thing that we haven't gotten into yet, but those are the ones that I started with. Where sway was my big one, and then skulk was my lower one.
Great.
Love it.
Nice.
The next step on the chart is to choose one friend and one rival. We're going to just pass by that for right now. You're going to make plenty of enemies along the way, and the good
Wow.
news is,
At
yeah,
this
of course.
table.
The good news is though, the facilities of the lighthouse, you have lots of help there. You have contacts there. The chaos is run from there. You'll have an entire flight deck. so you've got friends who will be able to help you out, and we'll explore that once we get to the lighthouse.
The question I have, because the sheet does have a section for fast friends, do we do anything with that right now?
Let me see that, please.
Have a look at my
Deadly friends.
sheet. Yeah, there's a section for fast friends.
There might be a pilot-specific thing.
Do you not have fast friends?
No.
Deadly friends.
I don't have
Yeah, I think these are just the sort of like, if you want to pick from
I
these
have
5.
Colorful friends.
Mine
There we
just
go.
Yeah,
says-
just
mine has
you can pick-
friends, but in quotation marks.
Wow.
You don't have
I
real
just crossed
friends.
Yeah,
it
it's
out.
so
Or is it friends with
So
benefits?
Yeah, just roommates.
This
Yeah.
so choose one friend and one rival. I think is you get to choose one friend and one
Right.
rival from that section. We're just going to leave that for now. Or?
Because since we're not going to be using the story setting from Scum and
Okay.
Villainy, we're going to create those ourselves.
Cool.
Yeah.
I have ideas for both.
Great. But we will absolutely focus on the next one, which is choose your vice. Each of your characters will have a vice, and indulging in your vice is the way that your character will clear stress, which is a combination of the way you take damage and how you can spend
Yeah.
you can spend stress for flashbacks. We'll get into all that when we start playing the game. But choosing your vice is very important because when you do lean into it, you do get benefits, but you can overindulge in said
Yeah.
vice. So let's start with Joe this time.
Oh my gosh, I'm so ready. BB's vices are she's a slime collector of all kinds. And it's interesting for her. And she has a fascination with shinies, but a very specific reason. So
Michael, just shinies. Just
shinies.
As in shiny object.
Yeah, shiny objects. But she has a oral fixation, so she'll chew on it until she feels better, kind of like a beaver does with a dam. So that's probably where most of the mech ruin is from. But she's not gonna
It's
say
like
that.
tooth marks all over the
Yeah.
all over the dam.
Yeah. All over the dam
Yeah.
with N in quotation marks.
And which category does your vice fall under?
Weird. Yeah, she's got weird vices.
You got it.
Yeah. she's a tiny mid-sized beaver with huge goggles. So, you know.
All right. Who's next?
I can go. I went for pleasure, and Killsphere likes to podcast about Chaos's adventures.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
But they have like 4 different podcasts with different personas, basically. So like
Oh my god.
they're trying to get basically they're trying to cover the whole media spectrum of people who don't believe in chaos, people who hate chaos, people who fear chaos, just trying to, and like chaos fans, like they're just getting all the various
How are the sponsorship deals on those podcasts?
still all underwear.
Amazing.
Still.
Adaptive underwear.
Stamps.com
and
still
one
there.
mattress, and Killsfire's like, I don't know how to explain this.
I do not understand the purpose of this device.
It is like a charging station.
It is a sort of rectangular charging station for your feeble biological frame.
this company, Blue Apron, continues to send me organic materials that rot in my kitchen.
Feed them to my beaver friends.
Have
being
you
said, if
heard
any
of
of these
Better
companies-
Help?
If any of these companies would like to sponsor us, please contact us.
Yeah.
Get in touch.
Did I say I meant
We're
Teal?
sponsored this week
I
by
meant
Slime.
Teal Chef Hat, a fake company, not a real company that could sponsor us.
Blue box.
Chartreuse. Smock.
Newcastle Brown.
My
Wait, hang
worst
on.
yet. Oh, truly my worst yet. But yeah, pleasure.
Yeah, I'll do mine next. Trip has a lot of demons and self-medicates. The vice is stupor, and is self-medicating with a drug. And getting clean from this drug is incredibly difficult because whenever people tell you, you know, what to do to get off of this drug, they're just encouraging you to do the drug. It's the last drug in the universe. It's called help. So when people tell you to get help, it just encourages you to go out and get another hit. So yeah, Trip is addicted to a drug called help. That's his vice.
That's that.
So you need somebody, not just anybody.
Yes. Yeah, if you say any more than that,
Help!
Not just anybody.
So you need to we need to find you the Eggman. That's what we're doing.
yes. In this scenario, I am the wolf.
When you're on it, you're like, I'm the walrus.
Yeah.
I am in the sky with diamond.
I have
And
not
we got
yet,
a cuckoo cachoo.
I have not yet figured out what the help high is, but we can figure that out in game.
We'll experiment.
Something, Mr. Kite.
Let's
I
all
don't
experiment with help.
Everyone do a different drug, and then when we come back, we'll share how the drugs treated us.
Know. All right, listeners, that's your homework. For
I
this
could
week.
lick a slime. I could lick one of my slimes.
Some of the slimes are probably psychedelic. By the way, I love the
Bazooka
second
Beaver and the psychedelic slimes.
Yeah.
I saw them live.
Oh, you interrupted me doing it
I'm
to
so
do it.
sorry. Sorry. I was like trying to remember Bazooka Beaver's name. I'm so sorry. Awful.
I was literally saying I love the second psychedelic slimes album.
Oh.
I saw them open for the Arcade Fire. It was great.
Oh my gosh, I chose the pleasure vice for Chase, but the pleasure that she gets, she's like a thrill seeker, so she's kind of like an adrenaline junkie. So I guess it could be somewhere between pleasure and stupor, because it's like that thrill of like the adventure. But yeah, I think she likes to be doing like high octane. She likes to go racing. She likes to do that kind of stuff, and progressively more and more dangerous. And yeah, she lives for the thrill.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. So yeah,
You could say she lives her life 250,000 miles at a time.
So those are the main steps for the character creation. Why don't everyone just take a look at your sheets if you have any questions, if there's anything still to be filled in. This is
She lives her life a quarter light year at a time.
quarter parsec at a time.
Yeah, a quarter parsec at a time. There we go. We found it. We found it. Good night, everybody. So things like stress and trauma, those start empty?
Yeah, so
Okay.
that is how you will receive damage. Rather than taking specific hit point damage, you will receive, if you roll poorly, you will then get, like a blaster shot to the arm or something like that. And the different levels of harm, they stack, and some are stronger than others, but we'll go into that once we play the game.
Okay, and then also things like armor, heavy, and special. Are those things we're going to wait to get into, or are those...
Yeah, so... because you are from the end of the universe, and so many different societies and cultures have come to the lighthouse, you have access to fantastic technology. You have access to nanotech, programmable matter, which I am lovingly referring to as smart matter in this game, or smatter as the slang term for it.
Created by Gene Smart.
But because of that, I want you to be able to have a lot of the items at your disposal, because you would have that ability. It's like in Star Trek, when you replicate something, you could basically replicate anything at this point on the go or whatnot. So I am going to have you choose your starting items, because those will be the ones that will give you specific bonuses. So if from a narrative perspective, you wanted something like the grappling hook, but you don't want to get it right now, I'm not going to say, oh, you can't make one, because you can. Your smart technology can do that. But if you want to get any sort of advantage for it, you'll have to put your choices towards that.
Okay. So how many items can we choose from to start?
Yeah.
Is it in our character thing? Choose your
I
own
believe
adventure?
it might be. And then when it comes to load out, at the beginning of each mission, you will decide if you are going into a mission with a light, medium, or heavy load. That basically means like how equipped are you, but also how conspicuous you are. Again, because we're using smart matter technology, we're going to be a little flexible with that sort of thing, but there will be some missions you will probably want to go in more prepared. Some you'll probably want to be stealthier for. So that's what that is on the character sheet.
Maybe what we could do, this is an idea that I have for load, is that to make load still matter and be like a stat that matters, I think maybe load could be like, our load level is the amount of programmable matter we bring with us. Like maybe like it still has mass.
Exactly, yes.
So like if you want to have the ability to make this many things,
Yep.
like you can have it. Like that way it makes sense. Like it's
At
gonna
at a time. I
Yeah,
would say.
yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So like you would need to be able to bring more with you to like pull things out. Like yeah.
Yep.
Okay. As far as items go, so have you figured out how to decide how many items we start with? It's a
you have
new
access to
system.
all of the items on your character sheet. For each job, decide what your character's load will be, and then the number associates how many of them you're bringing
Okay.
with you.
Copy that.
So saying if we take the items from like this list, the italic, they won't count against our load. Okay.
Correct.
Cool. 'Cause I like the idea of there's there's forged documents is one of the ones that I have, and I almost like the idea of, because of programmable matter, I like the idea that like Chase's forged documents are almost like psychic paper, but it's less that it's psychic and more that we're from the distant future, so we would have like a database of what the official
Absolutely.
documents are from an era, so they can like, it knows how to make what it needs to for the time period that we're traveling back to,
And all digital too. Yeah, exactly.
Like if we know we're going back to, even if it's like, this won't be it, but if it was like going to ancient Rome, it would be like, oh, this is a centurion, like whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Because I'm looking at the items for the pilot, and I think there's a typo on the actual sheet, because the items that have 2 load are in bold, items that have 1 load are just normal, and items that have 0 load are in italics. But one of the items on this list is the fine small Urbot, which on my sheet is in bold and italics, but in the book has a 2 load. So I'm going to go with what's in the book and assume that the italics on here is a typo. Otherwise, what I'm abusing here is an item that can carry more items. So I'm gonna be nice to you, Dan.
Oh, what a nice surprise!
I know.
That almost never happens.
We all
Is it my birthday?
We all get one a year, and I've picked mine, and it's here, and it's now.
Oh, that's so nice. Dan, you get 1.
Has everyone? Wait, hang on. Has anyone else done anything nice for Dan this year?
No.
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 Riley.
I gave Dan an airport ride.
Okay, cool.
Whoa.
So you're good for the rest of the year. I'm good for the rest of the year.
She may be covered for 2 years.
Well, if it was LAX 2 years, it was Burbank, so it's only 1 year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ben, what page are you finding the items on in the book?
I'm looking at the pilot items on page 90.
Oh, I
that
understand.
really-
Okay.
Yours is on
Yeah.
96. I'm
I see
actually
it.
looking at Scoundrels right now.
Yeah. So yeah, it's worth double checking your items list in the book, because it looks like there's a typo on, or not a typo, but like a formatting mistake on my sheet. On the
And we'll
pilot
figure
sheet.
that
Oh,
out.
I see. So
once we are
I have the ability to have a blaster or 2, so it's 1 or 2 load. I see. And then I understand that the forged documents are 0
Yeah.
load. My fine coat is 1 load, but
Okay.
like,
And so so what you're saying is we basically, for each
job.
we pick which of
Mhm.
these items. It's interesting because reading the description on the Urbot, which is back on page 19, I've just closed the book because I'm very good at this whole process. I'm very great and clever and a fun person to have at parties.
You are. You are just saying true things.
The Urbot is described as a small Urbot that supports piloting and can carry a few items, seems eerily sentient. I love this. I'm going to have an Urbot all the time. His name is Brian.
Okay. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah. That's 2 load. So I'm giving myself this 2. I figure my Urbot carries my smatter.
Okay.
That's how I'm going to interpret that.
Yeah.
The book says that like you're supposed to get the Urbot basically wiped once a year, and it's like, when was the last time you did that? How many personality quirks have developed as a result of that? And I think my thinking here is that there's nobody available to do that job. So this Urbot has not been cleaned for a long time.
It's like when the maintenance light comes on in your car.
And
It's
you
like,
just ignore
oh,
it,
it's
yeah.
fine. You know, the
Yeah.
car still works. Yeah.
I don't think Brian and Killsphere get along very well.
I think that the way we're talking about programmable matter with loadouts actually makes a lot of sense, because it says here that when you're starting the plan, you choose your load,
Yeah.
and that you don't have to actually select your individual items, just the maximum you'll have access to
Yeah.
during the action. So that makes a lot of sense that like, oh, I'm saying ahead of time how much programmable matter I'm bringing with me, how much
Yeah.
smatter,
Yeah.
and then like, you knowing you have that on there means that's how much you'll be able to make things from.
Yes.
You don't have to have them like pre-built. That's cool.
And that'll be also narratively fun, because let's say you want a melee weapon and you didn't necessarily bring one, and you can have that melee weapon be whatever you want it to be. They're all going to be the same.
I always got a knife. No.
A knife.
Yeah, you are also for free. All of your characters will have personal comms and computers. You know, aesthetically, you can design how it looks.
Yeah.
You also have built-in universal translators, and you all have ocular digital overlay technology, which allows you to read
Cool.
languages. It'll translate for you.
Okay. And how much water does it use to power these AI powered?
No, I decided for this. It's actually just like almost like an app that's downloaded into your cerebral
brilliant.
cortex.
I love
So
it.
So is AI. It doesn't mean it doesn't burn energy. Like,
There is one other thing that we got for free, and it's these fantastic hardbound copies of Scum and Villainy, courtesy of our friends at Evil Hat Puppet Productions.
I looked it up by the way. So loadout, it does look like you can choose whatever loadout you want, and the way that it works is if you do a light load, you're actually faster and less conspicuous, and you blend in with ordinary folks. If you do a normal, you're just like you look like you're ready for trouble, and then heavy, you're actually a bit slower, and people might notice you more. So basically, it's kind of a narrative thing where it looks like basically based on this, like Dan can decide to play off how NPCs notice us based on our loadouts. So that makes a lot of sense.
So now we're going to move on to crew creation, which is you're already a crew, but it's the fun part of choosing your ship. So there are 3 types of ships. Normally in Scum and Villainy, the type of ship will influence the sort of missions you get. We're just going to have you decide which ship you like the most. So.
I think it's going to be Killsphere and BB. Personally, that's just like where my vibe is feeling, but I don't know if that's
take one and pass.
Spaceship.
Oh, sorry. I
completely understand.
Yeah,
and I agree.
I'm trying to
you.
think of what the portmanteau is going to be for
Take
is it
one and pass.
Bazoosphere? I'm trying to think of what or Kilby? Is it
Kilby?
Kilby's
Kilby.
good. Take one, pass it on.
I think I have one
I guess.
I didn't give you
I will take
Oh,
one.
no.
Smashed out of my hand.
I needed to give you one more. I messed up.
Yeah.
You need this ship? How
Yeah,
many ships are
There
there?
are
they're all
3.
different
The
I
Fire
see.
Drake, Cerberus, and I
I
don't have the third one.
think-
Okay.
you.
Start answer.
Start answer. Thank you.
Aesthetically, I really like the fire.
This is a fiber. Does anybody need the fiber?
So they all have different stats. Mostly, if you look where the 4 corners, hull, engine, comms, and weapons, you can see some of them start with pips, others do not. In the game proper, start answer is the smuggler and blockade runner, looking to do odd jobs, small thefts, and find lost items. The Cerberus is the extraction specialist, looking to find missing people or items and claim bounties. And the Fire Drake, rebels and criminals, looking to protect the downtrodden and fight against the big bads.
Those are all pretty good.
Aesthetically, of the 3, I like the Fire Drake the most. But I haven't actually looked at the stats yet, and we shouldn't just
Again,
go on by.
let's say
there's
aesthetics. We can kind of like be fudgy on and kind of do what we want to do with it.
Yeah.
So rebels and hegemony criminals.
Yeah, if you look
okay.
under the special abilities on the right-hand side, they each have different special abilities.
Okay,
I think the start answer
that one's jumping out at me.
because it's got the smuggling
Yeah.
departments, the cargo hold.
It's like blockade runners, illicit merchant. That feels like kind of what we've been describing as our plot. So yeah,
So this is the main ship?
we're trying to decide which one we want to use. Yeah, I think the start answer we're looking at, like, that says, so start answer has you gain potency when you scramble or helm to avoid capture. You have more
like the
cred
start
for
answer.
smuggling. Field repairs, you gain potency when repairing your ship. Leverage your crew. Well, leverage is right there in the name of the
Leverage
ship,
is
which is
right
helpful.
there. I mean,
Space
wow.
Just passing through, which is good. Home cooking, everyone but Killsphere will like that. Because all of Killsphere's podcast sponsors will have made that a delightful
Yes.
meal. Your whole crew gains home cooking as a vice. I like the idea of that because then, like, we all get the vice of your food, and then you have the vice of cooking. That might be really fun.
I love that book, The Vice of Cooking.
Yeah.
Steve
Problems on
Allen, right?
each PC made 1 action rating to helm, rig, or scramble. Oh, I like that. So yeah, I'm a fan of the start answer.
I like the start answer a lot.
Yeah, let's do it.
And your starting abilities are you have 2 in hull and 1 in engines, 0 in comms and weapons, but you will be able to change that.
Do you have to pick a special ability? Is that the deal?
Yes, you will choose 1 to begin with, and then as leveling happens, you'll have
Okay.
others.
Okay.
I like that we all get to add an action rating, which is nice.
Yeah.
Okay, and yes, and we had actually spoken off mic. Who would like to say what the name of your ship is? I don't. Riley was the one who came up with it. I think it's only fair.
Sure. I think we thought it was fun to name our ship the Vagabond as a nod to the previous version of the show. Even though we're kind of doing the next generation of it, it's not recently after that. This is like maybe like a generation or two later.
Yeah,
but
50-ish years.
Yeah.
I don't have an exact number.
it's like the
but-
Legend of Korra to that Avatar. So yeah, I think I like the idea of the Vagabond. I think it's a nice nod and it's fun and I think it just sounds like a good ship name.
Yeah. And it also fits the style of the ship and everything. Yeah, it's just chef's kiss. I should have just done a chef's kiss, but
I reckon I propose a change to the name of the ship, the Chef's Kiss.
Because of the home cooking. Yeah.
The Yes Chef.
if something happens
Yes,
to the
chef.
Vagabond,
Yeah.
we have got a backup.
Oh my god, I like the idea of Killsphere making us say yes chef to Killsphere all the time.
Yes, Killsphere.
Yes, fair.
Yes, fair.
Okay, so next, you have to choose a reputation for your crew. You have to choose ambitious, brutal, daring, honorable, professional, savvy, strange, or subtle.
Definitely not subtle because that's
Yeah.
going to bite us. Okay.
Just
Go
a
through
big
it again.
strike through. Okay.
Can you go through it a little bit slower?
Yeah, absolutely.
We can
Are
say
they
no,
on the
yes or
ship?
no.
Are they on the sheet as well?
No,
I
not
don't
on
think
the
we have that sheet.
not on the
Nothing.
ship sheet.
Ambitious.
But I think we have a page for it. Oh, here we go. It's on this crew creation ship, a page. Okay, so we all have notes of it.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I think definitely not brutal or subtle.
My vote is strange.
Strange, I think, makes a lot of sense. I would say strange or daring feels
yeah,
the most.
strange
like-
and daring was what I was gonna go
Definitely has.
We also, it does say that you can choose one or create your own. So if we can come up with.
Oh.
I mean, chaotic feels like.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's perfect.
Chaotic
Yes.
falls under
Yep.
strange, but yeah, I think chaotic really does feel like
Chaotic
it's
is your reputation.
Yeah.
Perfect.
good.
Okay, great. So next, your ship begins with 2 cred. So in Scum and Villainy, cred is sort of like the abstract of wealth and money and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What we're going to do with it instead is because where you're at the lighthouse, there isn't really currency. You can get things you need to. Instead, we're going to turn this into credibility. So if you need someone to do something for you, you can basically cash in one of your chips with them. And we're going to use it like that.
That makes sense. I like that.
Okay, and money is different in every place and time you go to, so you can fabricate that. So like you'll be able to purchase like the things you need at each location, but the cred are like the big ones, and those are the ones you're really gonna want to earn and use towards
sparingly.
Yeah.
And then we get to choose 2 additional ship
let
systems to
them be
improve.
willy-nilly.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, just like when you put a point into one of your skills, you can choose 2 additional points. Engine, hull, comms, or weapons. You can split them however you like.
Okay.
Well, we need some weapons.
Yeah, my vote would be to build off what Michael just said. I think maybe 1 in weapons, and I also think in comms, maybe the fake transponder, so that when we're going through time, like it's easy for us to mimic like transponders of the time period.
So the fake transponder is going to be an upgrade, which is separate from
Oh,
that
I see.
right now.
Okay.
But you can still put a point in comms, so
Okay.
at least you won't have disadvantage rolls. On
Okay.
it.
Does that sound good to everybody else? I want to.
Well,
I don't want to be the
So-
one
so
that makes
we
all the
just,
choices.
we just scribble in one of the little spots where it says comms.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna do it on yours, Dan. On your main.
Yeah.
Dan's
we're
keeping
all
the main. Yeah.
And then weapons
Weapons?
too.
One
One
weapon-
for comms, one for weapons.
Yeah, 1 comm, 1 weapon. Okay.
Yeah, Michael.
Sorry, Ben.
Don't
you were
apologize, be
right.
better.
Oh my god.
God, it's just always
You know
has
what?
to be about you.
How about you make your life the apology?
That's big.
It's deep. Yeah.
Oh whoa.
Love you.
That one's brought to you by this week's sponsor, the Pleasant app. Just be pleasant. Don't worry about it. Gotta go.
Don't worry about it.
So the copy we have here is just be pleasant, don't worry about it, gotta go. It's weird that they had me sign off.
Yeah, the Pleasant.
I do kind of want us now to make a parody of the "Be Kind" T-shirt, but it says "Be pleasant, don't worry about it." Just
Gotta go.
Gotta go.
Gotta go. Just the back.
I think everyone who would want that t-shirt is in this room.
That's
right
fair.
now.
Yeah, that's very fair. But if you would like that T-shirt, please let us know in our Discord because we will make it if you will pay for it.
Wait, I've just had a horrible idea. It is a t-shirt in the style of a disco and Edo's shirts, but it says Vaga.
Oh God.
Well, technically, it would be Vagub.
Or ond.
I like the idea that our ship name is there was a vagab and an ond, and it's like that's their portmanteau. Like it's not named after Chet Vagabond. It's named after a pairing that we all liked on a sitcom we watched.
I suddenly really like the idea of our ship being two different ships that were like welded together in the middle, like a scrap.
Funny enough,
Yes.
I had
That's
notes
the
about
bond.
one of or many of the ships in the fleet around the lighthouse have had to do that out of necessity over the years. So perfect. Yeah.
The lighthouse to me, it's hard not to picture it as the station in the Valerian in the City of a Thousand Planets, where it's like all those just random things that have formed together.
All right, so we're going to move on to choose a special ability. We're going to skip the bottom part of 3. So once again, I want your ship to narratively have lots of things. So most of the upgrades and modules you will have story access to, but if you want any sort of actual benefit towards it, that's where you will have to invest special ability points or upgrades or anything like that. So we can go ahead and take a look. The next couple pages have lots of things. We can decide this later also if this is going to take too long. But you're going to have stuff. The idea of the fake transponder, like what Riley was saying earlier, if you do want to put the points into you would get the actual benefits of it because you'd be spending towards it.
It's an old code, sir, but it checks out.
Right now I am for our first special ability, I'm leaning towards either in terms of the narrative, I think home cooking is a good starter, but I also like the getaway. I think that the getaway. I don't know what type of stories. Dan might never have us on the ship. This is the fun thing about TTRPGs.
No, you will.
We will. Okay.
Also, I was confusing special abilities and upgrades, but yes, you are reading the correct area. No, you are reading from the correct area.
Yeah.
I think I didn't realize those were all things we had to. It makes sense. Like they're not marked in. Like we don't get those automatic at the ship. Those are things we have to buy for the ship. That makes sense.
I liked talking about home cooking because I like what that can do for our characters narratively. But in terms of like, the kind of the game aspect of the game in the part where the game is a game, I like the getaway as being something that we're good at from the get-go.
Building off of that, I think I would say the getaway, because the home cooking thing, we could make that a narrative thing for now, and then so those who are listening and not reading the sheet, the home cooking special ability actually makes home cooking a vice that we can then indulge as a group, and it feels like that might be something we build to if we have but like narratively, we can just like having home cooking on the ship. Yeah. It's just like we don't get a benefit mechanically from it being our vice currently. Yeah. So story-wise, I feel like we can have our cake on the ship and eat it too, but also have the getaway as our actual. So the getaway is we gain potency when we scramble or helm to avoid capture. So basically that would be like pretty good, I think, for like space battle kind of things. Yeah.
Yeah, for beginning of the narrative.
Yeah, so I'm happy taking that.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Also, I when it comes to vices, you do have to indulge in them. So you basically starting the game on hard mode by giving yourself an additional vice.
Yeah. I see. I think I thought of it as like we can indulge as long as we indulge one of our vices, it's okay. So I thought it was like, this gives us the ability.
I'll have to double check, but I don't want it to be that it's a hard mode. So, but I do love that it is just a narrative thing that you have family dinner.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this in terms of the narrative. How long have we been a crew? Are we coming together at the beginning of this, or have we been doing this for a while? Like,
I'm relatively new. I'll say that. Like, you guys might have already been working together as a crew. I am definitely like the first mission we do together is my first mission with the crew.
Okay. I think Trip is. I don't think Trip is new, but I think Trip is recent new.
I think probably the longest are Killsphere and BB.
Yeah. I feel like, if we're thinking about this as like Total Chaos, the next generation, then I would imagine that there have probably been, over the course of, we'll say 80 years, because that's the gap between TOS and TNG, there have been like different crews rotating in and out. Yeah. And I think Killsphere has been consistent, and I think BB has probably been part of the crew for enough time for there to be like a box set of Big Finish audios like down the line.
Yeah. Well, Killsphere's like Cyclops in a good way.
It's fine. I was going to make the X-Men.
BB is Wolverine also in a good way.
Yeah.
I was going to make the X-Men comparison also. It's like the roster is constantly shifting.
And that works because then if we're going by the X-Men animated series, Chase Variant is the Jubilee, basically. If you're going with the X-Men films, Chase Variant is the Rogue.
Well, you've played her as well.
I did.
Yeah, you got to play her.
I got to play Jubilee.
Oh, I love that.
Check out Deadpool Musical 2. Thank you on YouTube. I sing, I act, I do stunts.
Well, I'm gonna pose these backstory questions to you now. Then I wasn't sure if anyone had answers to them, and you don't have to necessarily answer right now,
Yeah,
but it's
sure.
something I want you to think about. First of all, when did you come from, and where did you come from?
Where did you come from?
Where did you go? Yeah, yeah.
Where did you come from?
There was a teammate named Cotton Eye Joe. It did not work out.
He died.
He knows what he did.
But
yeah,
he
he
did stop me from getting married a long time ago. So
That's no, yeah. It was like one of those. It was the ending of a Doctor Who serial. He met like one nice person during the story and just left.
Fell in love. Yeah.
Just absolutely just disappeared.
Killsphere's like, I've locked the doors.
One day I shall come back. Never mind. Click.
I shall
I
come
will
back
not.
and destroy you all.
Shall have my revenge.
Excellent. Okay.
But think about your home world, or did you grow up on a ship or a colony or somewhere else?
Well,
Something like that.
I definitely. So I think that. So here's what I think. So what I'm thinking is. So Trip Odometer, I have as his background. I chose Spacer. I think he grew up on freighters, cargo vessels, etc.
Freighter crane.
Freighter crane. Yeah. His dad had a recliner in the corner of the quarters. But I think he
the
originates.
space dog just stares at you.
Yeah, Space Dog. Yeah, named
EDDI.
3DD13.
Yeah, 3DD13.
It was a symbiote.
Great.
Yeah.
It was a Jacker Russell Terrier.
Oh my
Amazing.
god.
I think that the idea that I have in my head is that Trip comes from a planet called Stathos 9.
Nice.
No.
Not
Are
eight.
they known for their transporter abilities?
Yeah.
And
Beekeeping, transporting,
Yeah. They're hobbies.
they're cranking.
Wait, no, sorry, they're shawl. Sorry.
They're shawl.
Italian.
They're known for their shawls.
Was-
Was he in the Italian job?
Was he in the Italian job?
Yeah, he was.
They've
Yeah.
got Italians. He's
He's in the Italian.
Actually, the other idea I had was that he's from the planet Lilac. Like, I'd like the idea of there being a planet called Lilac.
Well, it could be the 9th planet in the Statham system called Lilac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like most
Or the
planets.
moon is the lilac moon. I don't know.
Ooh,
Ooh.
that's pretty.
Well, the one thought is, you know how people, they visit a planet and the first word that they hear is, well, that's the name of this solar system. So they had Stathos, which is lilac for these fucking guys. And so the solar system is called the Stathos system on official star charts, but the planet that is officially designated Stathos 9 is called Lilac.
Hey,
Boom.
whoever decides to make a wiki for us, good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
But yeah, I think that Trip Odometer is of the planet Lilac. I think his species is lilac. I think his skin is lilac. I think there's going to be one. It's going to be
And all
lilac
day and all
parentheses
night,
planet.
everything he sees is just lilac, like him, inside
Yeah.
and out.
But I also don't think he's ever seen his planet. I think he was born and grew up on freighters and cargo ships and spaceports, and that's the only life he's ever known. He's never seen or set foot on a planet, and where he is now is kind of the apotheosis. Is that the word of apotheosis? Thank you, of like his entire life, because he's never set foot on a planet, and he may die here. He may never see a planet.
How did Trip come to the end of the universe? Is it your home time period? Was there?
I do think he's of this point in time. I think that
spacefaring is almost impossible then, because there's no navigation.
yeah. So how the fuck is he a pilot? I think he's probably from earlier. Then he's probably from earlier. He was part of as far as people are aware, he was part of a military force, and he left. And
You're not supposed to do that.
yeah.
They don't like that.
He went AWOL and now lives at the end of the universe. And
Sail.
yeah, exactly. Yes, he sailed to the end of the universe, where he now works with Total Chaos, and the reasons why he went AWOL are part of his mysterious backstory.
That's a question. Good. That's a good question, Dan, about the universe, because, like you said, there's no navigation or anything. So, at this point in the time frame, is there really nothing else out there, or are there still people who are making their way through a dying universe to get to the lighthouse?
As
Making your way.
you'd be under the assumption that yes, there are still people out there. Like the universe is not dead, and the word of the lighthouse is out there. So the hope is that there are still people coming there. It's incredibly dangerous. There's obviously no starlight or anything like that. So you could easily hit a planet on your way or anything.
How frequently are ships arriving at the lighthouse? Like, is it daily, weekly, monthly?
It completely varies. It's sometimes they show up and they are always welcome with open arms.
Okay.
Well, I just heard the news. Sorry.
But if anyone else has thought about the backstory of that, like, where are you from and how did you get to the end of the universe? If not, we'll figure that out later, but this is your time to shine.
Well, BB grew up as a normal little southern beaver along the Mississippi River, like all good beavers do.
Any beaver on a different river? Horseshit.
Yeah.
Just absolute stink bug of a beetle.
Colorado
Or
River,
beaver.
forget that. Forget those beavers. They're
We
not
don't
worth
take
it.
kindly to Western beavers.
It's true. We just like our Mississippi beavers.
Is there a lot of rivalry among different areas of beaver?
I would say so.
Or beaver infighting, if you
there's
will?
not a lot of trees left, so lumber's a very finite source. And, beavers, they love their dams. They love their lumber,
Damn.
Yeah.
A
A good beaver loves a really nice piece of wood.
A beaver without a forest to turn into a dam, it
Yeah.
reminds me of that flower that was pollinated by a type of beetle or bee that no longer exists, and so it mimics a bee
Yeah.
to try to attract male bees. It mimics the female bee, but that bee is long since extinct.
Yeah.
So that's
Essentially,
something that's in my head
you're
right
already there. You're already there, and
already there. Yeah.
exactly. And her parents were insurance beavers, because those dams do fall. And who's going to cover you? But Mr. and Mrs. Beaver of the Mississippi River Beavers. But obviously, BB had bigger dreams than that. Universal Public Radio, a mech suit, bigger than law in the Mississippi River. So I think one day she probably smuggled her little tiny butt up onto a ship somewhere. And she's been using her southern drawl to sweet talk her way through things since she met Killsphere, and they made a public radio station together.
Is there, my curiosity, because I'm trying to make a timeline in my head, is there any degree of like time travel, like why would she come from like an era where Earth still exists, but is in an era where it might not exist anymore? Or?
I think when she smuggled herself through, there might have been some like black hole time warpiness.
That makes sense.
That ship probably came from the future.
Or it could be that because you met Killsphere, possibly wherever and whenever you were, that incarnation of chaos was there. And you met
it's
them.
probably
That
chaos.
makes sense.
It's probably Killsphere's ship. This is the ship she snuggled her own Buddha off of.
And maybe Killsphere was the one who then brought you to the lighthouse.
I would say so. Yeah.
Could you as a beaver already talk?
Yes. I feel like at that point, once the animals have taken over, they do know how to talk, but I wouldn't say that it's English.
Okay. So it's almost certainly them it's a translation matrix thing that's happening.
Yeah, definitely something where we all universal translate it.
Yeah, and Dan's already said that we all have universal translators. So
yeah,
that was what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Well, I'll say I don't want to say a lot about Chase Variant because she's playing her own cards pretty close to the chest, and I want to have fun with that as a player in the game. Yeah. But I'll say that Chase grew up on the lighthouse. She's always been part of the lighthouse, and occasionally, we'll say what we know about her so far is that she got in trouble in some way, and now she has been working. She's basically was sentenced to work with the Chaos Crew, and that's kind of where she's at right now. So. That's her vibe. I'll say that I think that she maybe feels a little bit stagnant at the lighthouse and has been looking for things to and that's why she maybe gets herself into a little bit of trouble in that way. And there's more to it than that, but I'd rather play that out narratively in the game. But yeah, that's her thing. She is a lighthouse brat. So I chose the spacer heritage as well for her because I couldn't really think of what else. Colonist maybe might have worked, but they kind of feel closely the same thing. And then background was tough because I chose academic, but because I didn't really think noble quite the description of noble in the book was you've been coddled and things like that. I don't think anyone in the lighthouse has had that experience. So I think that I think there was maybe she was in a position on the lighthouse that felt more academic than she wanted to be doing, and because she's a thrill junkie, she was like, I gotta go and do things.
Well, one of the other things is because those guides are like, you can make your own. So instead of being academic, maybe you could like, as a writing, you could put dropout or something.
Burnout.
I
I'll think of something like that. Something like that could be like Troublemaker.
Yeah.
Troublemaker feels like the most perfect.
Ooh, I like
Yeah,
Troublemaker.
That's nice.
So my idea of Killsphere is that as they were building the lighthouse, Killsphere just sort of drifted to it, and they've been there since pretty well the origins of the thing. I don't want to get too deep into it because I don't know how sort of lore-y it gets, but
Chuck Lorre.
Chuck Lorre. I hope not. Really hope not.
There's a lot of Killsphere spinoffs.
Oh, hope not. Oh, hope not.
Young Killsphere is my favorite.
Young Killsphere. Oh,
The fact that they went from like a 4-camera sitcom to a 1-camera.
Let's let Michael
Sorry,
get
yes.
the thing out that he's been trying to get out.
It was weird when they brought back old Killsphere.
I was
and
trying to
young
help
Killsphere.
you.
I know, but I swatted your hand away.
Okay.
is the thing.
Okay, I didn't mean to shut Ben down, but I also know that like we tend to riff, and you came back to a thing.
That is a little bit my fault. My sort of overarching idea of Killsphere is that, like, when a universe is ending, a Killsphere is assigned, basically to help with basically turning out the lights of a universe. The idea of a Killsphere is they are part of a sort of omniversal recycling system that exists outside of the sort of universal construct. And when each universe is about to go out, basically one of these spheres is placed into it to help manage that. What is different about the Killsphere of this universe is they decided they really like it, and they like don't want to blow up the universe because there's a lot of nice people there. So basically, Killsphere has sort of rebelled against their core programming and just become a nice person instead.
Oh, I love it.
I love that's really great. I love that.
So yeah, they're just like they're a nice garbage person. Just be nice, you know.
Just be a nice
Recycle.
garbage.
Or else.
All right, home stretch, folks. We're almost done building this ship
Thank
as we're flying it.
God.
Ah!
What a metaphor.
All right, so yeah, step 5, assign upgrades. So you do already have a couple that was part of the Star Dancer ship. You have the smuggling compartments, the cargo hold, the jump drive, and the galley. So now we're going to pick 2 more from the copious amount on the following page. 2
No
things
kidding.
that you will get.
Oh,
the
do we have a
benefits
galley
for.
already?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It
came
happens
with
in February
one.
every year.
Hey! Oh, so it's filled in because it's already selected.
Yes. So yeah, you will have an AI module on your ship who can act as your co-pilot. You will meet them in the game proper. But yeah, there's lots of things to choose from here. I know you're all going to gravitate towards Alien Pet. I'm going to suggest maybe not begin with that because there are things you probably will want, but I also will not say no to
Here's the
it.
thing: is I wasn't going to, but now that you said it and you put it in my mind, and you can't just like bring an Alien Pet home and then say you can't have this.
I didn't think you
Please,
can't
Dan,
have it.
please, please, can we keep him, please?
I don't.
I promise I'll feed him and walk him and clean up his poopies.
We know that's not going to happen.
Oh.
I think we should have the ship papers. It seems like a good one for us.
Let me see here.
Long range scanner seemed smart too.
Where are we seeing ship papers? Oh, I see it. For the
It's
false ship papers. I see those.
Yeah, it's a Star Dancer option. The type of ship we picked.
How many upgrades do we get?
2.
2.
Two.
Dos.
I like that false ship papers. We're a time travel ship, so I would assume that that's like a psychic paper situation.
Honestly, I'm going to say you probably won't even necessarily need that unless you were like trying to get into like a specific dock or whatever. Like you'd be able to. Well, again though, yes, you'd be getting the benefits of it. I'm not going to say no to you about it. So yeah, it would be like a
Is there
psychic paper.
More than one page of ship upgrades? Am I missing this somewhere?
Yeah, there's crew specific upgrades as well.
Cruise ship upgrades.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
gotta find that page.
Because then
Oh, I
dark
see it.
hyperspace lane maps sound about right.
Oh, I see now. Yeah, that's good.
Oh, one thing I did want to ask all of you to decide, and we don't have to answer this right now. It'll be when the time comes. But I want you to decide what it looks like when your ship jumps through time. So that would be something to think about. Is it a portal? Is it a energy thing? Is it so?
I like to imagine the ship stays stationary and then all of time and space moves around it.
And it goes.
It's funny because I was actually doing a Futurama joke, but you were doing that also works. Because in Futurama, there's like an episode where it's described that these ship's engines don't actually move the ship; it moves the universe around the ship.
Yes, I love it.
All right, the incredible bullet time shot of the ship. Yes. Wow, core memory unlocked. Holy shit.
So I like false ship papers. I also think that fake transponder is a similar. Oh, I see. Never mind. Yeah, I think actually false ship papers is closer to what I was thinking fake transponder did. Because fake transponder is more of like having a decoy ship transponder elsewhere. I like the idea of thrill seekers as a possible thing for us. So it gives you you get like one more extra chance to spend stress before you're at trauma.
So you actually won't be able to afford that right now. It requires 3 points.
Oh, I see. Said the Riley. Okay.
Yeah, Lucky Charm is 2. Shields are 2.
Okay. So I think I agree with everybody that false ship papers because that's what I was thinking of earlier. So that
I was thinking false ship papers and smuggler's rigging is where my head's at right now. I was also thinking Lucky Charm, but I don't want to spend both points on one thing.
Yeah, we could do maybe false ship papers for the specific ones and then one from the other page possibly, but
well, these are just for the upgrades, right?
Yeah, but there's a whole other page of upgrades. There's this option. Yeah. I do like the grapplers.
I do like the grapplers.
I actually, joking references to Lil Noonan's song aside, I do think that grappling hooks wouldn't be terrible if we're trying to like steal things from space and time. Like being able to grapple things from space seems like a thing our ship would want to do.
Has anybody else at this table seen the anime Outlaw Star?
No, I've heard of it. The name sounds familiar.
It's super weird, but one of the like gimmicks of the show is the ship had these deployable arms, like grappling arms, like 2 Canada arms, and ships would like get into hand-to-hand fights.
Oh, I love that.
Grappler arms.
So you want to steal that?
I like the idea of 2 ships having a slap fight.
Yes, I do want to steal, but no, I think that's the thing that pops in my head when I think of like space age or super spacey.
I mean, I think it's super cool, but it's your ship.
That one anime did it, and nobody else did, so we can just take it. You know,
we could have until you set it into a microphone.
I mean, we still can. It's an homage.
Oh, okay.
This is a.
Right, calm down, Quentin.
This is a loving homage to the anime Outlaw Star. I'm homaging only the spaceship and not all the pervy cat girl shit.
Outlaw Star sounds like an American Idol type show, but it would be like all Johnny Cash and like that style music, like Willie Nelson type, like Waylon Jennings, like.
Oh yeah, I mean. I feel like you'd watch the opening title sequence of it and not be dissuaded of that notion at all.
Yeah. Okay.
It's pretty much.
I'm gonna have to YouTube that.
Anyway, so what did we pick? False ship papers and something? No.
I had said false ship papers and grappling, but I also think smuggler's wriggling is also pretty good.
That is good.
And I think they both kind of do similar types of things, so
I will say you'd probably make more use out of the grappling.
Oh yeah, I guess smuggler's wriggling is like for us as individuals to have.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's strange. Okay.
It's like a personal.
It's basically
I will say
while you're hiding out in the midst of space, you would be able to fix the ship easier because you would have more access on the exterior of the ship. You wouldn't need a dry dock.
Okay,
That's
with this information about this being a thing, I would say that false ship papers we might not need as badly because I kind of already have that in my loadout. So, like, unless we're gonna like split the party when we're arriving somewhere, I might be the person to be like, "Here's my identification." Like,
sure. I have a recommendation to make.
Okay.
Possibly the workshop under crew gear.
Could be useful.
Workshop, plasma cutters, a nano assembler, a stock of metal and electrical components,
That sounds
a
about
forge, anything required to build, modify, or disassemble complex machines.
I like that.
+1 quality to craft lots. Yeah,
It feels like a thing that BB would have like access to and be into.
So papers and a workshop.
Well, we might not do
Just
papers anymore
workshops
because I think
are fine.
papers
Okay.
is kind of redundant because of what I can do as a scoundrel.
So it's hooks and workshop.
Possibly. We've only picked workshop so far.
I like grappling. Let's put grappling and weapons. I think that's a good
Yeah, why not?
non-lethal option too.
All right, you got it.
They're legal.
Credit card, you got it.
In the workshop, shout it out,
Ooh,
baby,
hooks.
I'm ready
Okay,
to
and so
go.
the last thing to decide are your crew positions on this. So one of you will be the captain, but that can be a title that you hold while also crewing one of the other stations. I would recommend having, obviously, a pilot, an
Hello.
engineer, a communications officer, and a weapons or gunner. Those would be my 4 suggestions. I will say, you need a pilot
That's
and
triple
someone
dominor.
to be a captain. But yeah, it's up to you otherwise.
I mean, straight up pilot. I'm.
Yeah.
That's like they
Just
built their
like-
whole
Yeah,
character
yeah.
to be a pilot.
Literally.
Where? Sorry, is that on this page somewhere
No.
that I'm missing?
No, this is just, I'm just having us do this.
Okay, so
So
give me.
what are the positions again?
Pilot, engineer, gunner or weapons or tactical, whatever you want to call it, and comms officer, because those are the 4 main
All right.
compartments on here.
Okay.
I think that I think both Killsphere and Chase would be good for gunner and tactical because you're our.
I was wondering about Chase for comms because you're the scoundrel.
Yeah, that makes sense.
and you could be doing the like Uhura with a stack of books gag.
Yeah.
from Star Trek 6, one of my favorite gags ever.
love that.
Don't know why that popped in my head.
I kind of like Killsphere being the captain by virtue of being like
Oh yeah, I think that
the veteran.
oldest. Yeah,
I think Killsphere definitely captain. But he also still needs. I think maybe like. I think that Chase. I think maybe Killsphere and Chase both trade off doing weapons stuff because like. If you're too
Yeah.
busy captaining, like you might have me like
Well,
once
it might
once
be one does grappling hooks, one does weapons.
Yeah.
Is there two
And you can
different-
change during combat, like if someone needs to take
Yeah.
one position.
when diplomacy has failed, you might have me hop into the gunner seat.
Of the 4 positions Dan listed, I'd say BB and engineering makes sense.
100%.
And
Yeah.
then you and I would swap tack and comms as
Yeah.
needed. That's
Yeah.
who's going to be primary on which? Just because I do want to have that jotted down.
I think Killsphere is gunner.
I think I'm primary comms,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Killsphere is going to be captain and gunner. That makes sense because I think that if Chase is going to be doing fighting in space, she'll probably hop into her own little ship. I think that suits her personality more. I think so.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. You're all going to each have a personal starship. It is completely designed however you want it to be, and it is stored digitally in the hold. So it's actually a relatively smaller hold than like where the ships would take off in Star Trek or Star Wars. I'm almost picturing it like the size of like a 3-car garage. So it's
not a hangar. It's
right,
like a
exactly.
garage.
But you can basically download the ship that you need. It's there, ready to deploy. Launch. The next one comes out.
I had a crazy visual idea for this that I wanted to pitch to the group. What if the hangar deck is like a big kind of cylinder sort of within the ship, and the bottom of it is like a moon pool out to space?
Ooh, I like
Oh!
that.
So basically, like
Ooh.
you just drop out.
And that fits perfectly with the ship because it's cylindrical in the center.
I'm thinking of the visual I have in my head. This is going to alienate everyone else at the table. My apologies. Red Dwarf, the first episode of Red Dwarf 7, where they're talking about how the interior dimensions of the cargo hold have expanded like
Yes,
20%.
yes, because
so they're walking
and
through,
they're just in that big stupid
jet
thing.
engine,
Yes,
basically.
yes. Yeah, I love that. Oh,
but it
that's-
just drops like a dead drop down into space from
yeah,
there.
it's just
Yeah,
it's the silo from Silo.
Okay,
But space is down.
I like that. Yeah.
Cool. I just popped in my head randomly.
No, I think it's great.
It'd be sick to just like
Yeah,
drop
I was
out.
picturing because you said moon pool. I was picturing the Eyrie from Game of Thrones, like the.
Oh God.
Ooh.
All right. I want to drop one more bit of lore for all of you, and then we'll wrap this up. But I want to talk about time travel and time travelers and how they are in this world. Real question for all 4 of you. Do any of you know an archaeologist?
No.
I do actually.
in the real world.
Yeah.
I do not know
No.
any archaeologists.
Okay. The odds of you knowing an archaeologist are incredibly small. It turns out there are actually about 5,000 archaeologists in the U.S. And in your day-to-day life, you wouldn't really come across one unless you traveled in the circles of the archaeologist. And that's kind of the ratio of time travelers that you will encounter. They are there. The odds of coming across them are few and far between, but you are time travelers, so you are in the same circles. So you might come across other time travelers, but most people don't. But I just wanted to put that out there as sort of like the big scale of things.
An archaeologist is kind of like a time traveler in a kind of a long way round kind of way.
No, I'm a time traveler. I point and laugh at archaeologists.
Oh, okay.
I sometimes marry them.
All right,
but only sometimes.
Sometimes interview them on stage at conventions.
Do you have any questions about your character sheets or anything, or the ship, or if you want to ask some questions about the lighthouse, I'd be happy to answer some of those.
When do we fight orcs?
When do we fight orcs?
Eventually.
When does Professor Yana get revealed as the master?
Season 3.
Season 3, episode 11.
Oh, thank you.
Season 3.
BB's personal ship is a chuck wagon. It's called the CC, the country comet, country without the O.
That looks like the cat bus from...
kind of. But I haven't gone too much detail yet, but we're going like Oregon Trail sort of chuck wagon.
I
Love it.
Will she die from dysentery? Who knows?
And with that will bring us to the end of this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Be sure to follow us on social medias, Good Chaotic Pod on all of them, I believe.
Yep.
Okay. And
I was consistent.
we'll see you for episode 1. Bye, everyone.
Bye, fuckers!
Show's really taking it to heart that we can say fuck now. We can say fuck now.
We can fucking swear on this fucking thing? Holy
No
fuck.
shit.
Yeah.
I can't believe the first bye fuckers wasn't from me. Honestly.